to Voices in Hyperspace. Today we're talking about episode 5 of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, Series Acclimate MIl. And it's out.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
First photonic student is also the adversary for her people, and she is tasked with taking a certain class, understanding, explaining the unexplainable in order to do her job, which is explain to her people the organics. She chooses to explain or find out the mystery of the Cisco in order to understand her purpose, because he had a similar purpose to her, being the adversary for the prophets.
Let's start off with our overall impression of the episode. I know when we were talking off the recording, myself and PJ both expressed like there were some challenges here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to go into what you saw as some challenges first, and then I'll share on.
Sure. I'm not a huge fan of the first person storytelling, especially when it's not something that's established in the show already. Like there are shows where it starts out with first person account, and then that's how the entire series is from one person's point of view. They do voiceovers and things of that nature. This show is not like that. So when they throw an episode in there like that, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's like, this isn't the way the show goes.
It's jarring.
And yeah. And I think it was a little bit maybe too whimsical, because so you're listening to this story from her point of view, from Sam's point of view. So it's like, well, what do I believe is actually happening? So when I first my first watch, when Darren vomits glitter,
yeah,
I thought it was just something she was seeing in her head. And then like I watched it a second time and I'm like, oh, this is canon. So Kyonians vomit glitter.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ridiculous.
It's such a random facts about a weird group of people.
But I think that's something that you would see in Lower Decks.
Yep.
And of course, one of the writers on this episode is Tawny Newsome.
Yep.
Who is in Lower Decks. So it makes so much sense from that point of view.
Yep. I was having trouble with how rapidly certain things were happening on screen, and it wasn't to inform you, it was more to shock you. And I was sharing off the recording how like there are certain things when they do happen, it is in the context of the past few episodes. So when you see it on this episode, there's no context unless you watch the last 2 episodes, last 3, 4, whatever. All of the cadets were extremely immature, extremely, and the situations that they would set up were like, if you didn't watch the last couple of episodes, you wouldn't know why Jaden was standing on the side of the war cadets during like pretty much all of their confrontations. It was jarring, but also it's like, well, there seemed like either he has a crush on Kyle or Kyle has a crush on him. We haven't even discussed it yet, but there it is, and it's there to kind of like diffuse whatever tension is happening between Starfleet Academy and the War Academy.
I think it's still in its like infant stages. It's moving just a little bit slower than the Caleb Tarima, which also took a jump forward.
Oh, a huge jump. Then the situation with Aki and oh gosh, the War College chancellor. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, I wrote it down. Elric. Yeah, Kelric. Their situation, it's it starts off as just ridiculousness, and then you end in a. It's not. They TV dadded him. They just had a moment that was like really soft and heartwarming, but it didn't solve anything.
It did.
I don't think it did. It just it.
I don't think it did either.
I think
I
it.
thought when he kind of warmed up to like not being so serious. It's like the whole point of their dinner was for him to not feel like everything has to be so scripted. So they did this dinner where it was a practice script. And then it kind of gets released at the end where it's like, yeah, even though you know what you're going to do and do everything you're supposed to do, it's still going to mess up. Like you were horrible at that flute.
Yeah.
Or like yeah, or the fish deflating, like no matter the her lesson, her and her teaching style was to provide you with what you need to learn. And he learned to like not be annoyed with her being so relaxed and relax himself. Because he was taking up the school's power in order to impress a diplomat to boil
Yeah.
a part of the ocean. Like
Yeah.
that eel
That's
to make
wild, by the way.
like what you just and not even thinking about you got to go with the flow. And I think that was the point that it was being taught to him.
Well, they touched on his central wound with Aki, which is he revealed that he felt that she abandoned Starfleet, not Starfleet Academy, but Starfleet. And
Hmm.
those are some very strong words. Like it wasn't like, oh, you left, you retired. It's like, no, you abandoned us, which means maybe he admired her. Maybe he looked up to her or something, and when she disappeared, um he was like, why would you hurt me like that? And then when they bring her back as chancellor, he sees it as an affront because it's like, not only did you get your job back, but you still got like, you got a promotion kind of. You're in charge of some stuff. And I don't know if I can trust you. You know what I mean? And
Well, like
he sees her activity, like from episode one to now, he sees all that she does is whimsical and irresponsible because it's like, well, you left before. What means what tells me you're not gonna leave again? Oh, you're back and you're gonna mess everything up? I don't trust you. You know. And when they had that conversation, she was just like, don't make decisions based off when you don't have context. And that was it. No explanation. No, no, like, hey, by the way, this is what I did. Here's how I'm trying to fix it. There's none of that. It's just like, you chill out because you don't know everything. That to me, that was the answer. And I'm like, leave it to Beaver. If you
that,
ever,
yeah, 'cause it shouldn't matter. Like if you're going with the flow and understand, he has to understand what she's coming with now, not why she left or what made her leave. And he sees her as unwise for leaving the structure,
yeah, there we go. Yep.
where she sees herself as wise for going with her feelings. And at the end of the day, like she reminds me very much of those older ladies who don't give a care. Like I feel how I feel, and life is too short to be dealing with your mess and trying to worry about your feelings more than mine. It's all in one collective. So as long as I'm not like directly hurting you,
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'll say whatever.
Wow.
Like
That sounds like the difference between physical and emotional abuse, and how it is harder to notice an emotionally abusive situation, therefore to protect yourself from it, and even to acknowledge that it's even happening. Um, and because we live in a system where it is, you get persecuted and you're convicted, and then you have to defend yourself and have a right and a wrong, it doesn't leave space for um really understanding and knowing that there is perspective. Like he felt abandoned, and she, for whatever reason she had to dip out, was probably for a good reason, and neither of them are wrong. But right now they're in a all out, whole season conflict over these wounds that they have that are going unaddressed.
And that kind of is a cool way to have like an umbrella perspective of what Starfleet is. Um Aki left because she was very by the books following the system, and it led her to make a decision she eventually regretted. She's in the process of correcting that. Kelrick is a by the books, by the regulations person because you trust the procedure, you trust the process, you trust the system. And almost every scene that he's in, him trying to like trust the system, it's him trying too hard and then he kind of fails or he gets embarrassed. And so I you know, it's going to be for comic relief throughout the series, but it's one of those things that I look at and like they can just have this conversation, but they're not. Um, so maybe there's some story they want to tell later.
Yeah, you guys really turned me around on these scenes with Ake and Kelrig because at first watch I did not like them. I thought there was too much thrown in there with them, but the deeper conversation about the underlying of this scene and how it was actually necessary for this episode has turned me around. Because at first I was like, why did we have to have this dinner scene? It doesn't have anything to do with Sam's story.
Right.
But you think about it, it does.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I see it
go ahead.
to compare it. It's like a older version of Sesame Street. I've watched a lot of Sesame Street. I taught preschool for 16 years. And like they don't come out and tell you this is well they do, like, but it's outside of it. So when they do, they have their little skits where like the puppets are interacting with people and stuff. They don't directly tell you what the lesson is. They allow the kids to figure it out.
Yeah.
And this was doing the same thing. They're telling the story and allowing you to figure it out without directly just sitting there telling you. And like with Sesame Street, they do eventually tell you, but it's outside of the story.
Yeah.
So they'll have their little skit, and then the count will come on and sing whatever number it is they were talking about in the skit. So
Yeah.
yeah, or it'll come later at the like very end. They'll explain it. So like this episode, we get the dialogue with Avery. We get her message to Cisco, and that explains all of that. But it's not.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah, it's like a parallel.
yeah,
Yeah. It
but all of those lead up to that lesson.
and about that dinner cuz that part like it was really a small part. Um to me it shows kind of it shows the contrast of Kelrick trying to be extremely um procedural by the book, and then we get the most ridiculous people to be his help to prepare for this dinner. First of all, Aki, she takes nothing serious whatsoever. Speaking with that weird aristocratic accent, that was just honestly that kind of took me out of it because I knew what she was doing, but I was just like, no.
Did she know what that other person sounded like? Is that what she was trying to mimic, that other person's voice? I didn't get it
Maybe.
either. I didn't understand like why did you put it make it a voice?
Maybe
Well,
she
because
does.
she was going to pretend to be the other diplomat.
Yeah.
So she's playing the role of that diplomat.
Yeah.
So when you play the diplomat, you put on the aristocrat.
Yeah. And then then they the doctor of all people gets to come and Reno. So two of the snarkiest and ridiculous people in the school are there, and they have a little bit of a snark off, and I thought that was great because it's like the I don't even know how to say it. Like Aki is the most like out there person, so of course, but Reno and the doctor are to show how ridiculous Kelrick is because he's trying to be serious. Reno's never going to be serious, and the doctor is like, "I'm better than all of you anyway, so like, chill out." Um, all the pageantry and stuff was hilarious, but it was the more he tried to stick by the book, the worse that he felt about it, because it's like, this is ridiculous. Why am I doing this? And then the truth comes out. So yeah. And you're right, it does kind of parallel with the main story, and we can jump back around to how that begins. When Sam starts the episode, she goes like, "You're the best person I can tell this to." You know, it took me a while to be like, "Who are you talking to?" Who are you talking to? I mean, they reveal it at the end, and it makes sense, because then it's like, okay, it is contained, but there's so much that is presented that, like, um it's hard to it's hard to it can be hard to make those connections. um I like how everybody addresses her as a different name.
Oh,
Samburger.
I love those. I have them all. I made sure I have the list of all of
Yeah,
them.
yeah, share those
It's
real quick.
salmon hammer, samurai,
Yeah,
samburger,
Samburger.
samaroni, and the her favorite, which is the worst one, is Queen Semolina of Semonia. That's why it's so hard. It's so hard to say.
Yeah.
That's why I hate it. I don't like it, but she loved it.
that
Hmm.
that is such a high school thing, though. Like,
Oh yeah.
you have your friends, and you come up with the most ridiculous nicknames, and that's cool, and she loves it. um I look at it as Sam is going with the flow.
Oh
um
yeah.
Hmm.
she Remember, she's roughly 3 months old. um that bothers me a lot, but we'll touch on that when we talk about the cask. um and so she's just going with the flow. She's like, her whole thing is like, I'm in there, I got it. uh it's a little different from when she was introduced, and she's super enthusiastic, but she was like, I don't know if people like me, question mark. Now it seems like people absolutely love her. um
Yeah. Again, that's where I was like, is that in her head that she thinks everybody's staring at her? But
yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's like, is that, since it's being told from her perspective, she's saying like, yes, I
yeah,
go to the school, everybody loves me, I'm amazing, I have all these friends, when there are quite, the people who didn't like her are not in this episode.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Well, probably only documenting the good stuff
Yeah.
because she is to Cisco and she learned from Cisco to embrace and appreciate all of the good that comes from interacting with others. So that's her documenting that and telling him. Um, and like just in bringing it to herself too, because Cisco's kind of a parallel to Jesus.
Not kind of.
Definitely
he
directly.
he is
Uh,
Jesus. He's the space
well, I mean,
black space
my
Jesus.
like, oh, oh, all right. But my understanding is quite different. So, yeah,
Oh, okay.
many
Yeah.
parallels. Well, to any of the like, we can add any of the other ones, like the ones I don't remember, the ones that he was modeled after too. So yeah, here's another one.
And speaking of Cisco, the reason why she's on the mission to find out what happened to Cisco, um, her mission as an emissary is to find out if the solids can be trusted by the cask. The cask are a photonic species. We've met several photonic species in Star Trek. There was the species that were in the Next Generation, and there was the species, I believe they were in Voyager. They found a Voyager. In Voyager, they found this photonic species. Remember, they were the ones who they beamed onto the set of Paris's uh, cheesy sci-fi series.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
Doctor or I can't remember.
yeah,
Photon?
yeah.
The
Miss
photon?
Captain
It was
Photon. Yeah,
yeah, Captain Photon. It was in black and white. I
yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
And one of them got killed because it was in the holodeck. The holodeck can hurt you, and they were like, "Why are we in these bodies?" you know. So I I do like the exploration of, hey, what does a photonic species look like? What does it act like, behave, and this and that. I got some odd Isaac vibes from when when she was explaining them, that their species were created by another species mainly to be servants. And then that species left. I don't know what that means. And now they became sentient and they're their own species, their own planet. Isaac
Like,
from Oh, go ahead.
oh yeah, I was just gonna say yeah. Basically, it sounds like they were like not necessarily human beings, but a being like organic beings like humans
Yeah.
created them and just left it, just left the program after they didn't want to use it anymore, and then the program developed itself, became sentient, and very much like Borg, very much like the V'ger, all that stuff passed, except they have a representative now they created called Sam. So
Yeah.
I don't even know if they all have bodies. I think like
I think
Sam is the only one that has a body right now.
kind of
Maybe. I don't know.
because this
Yeah.
is still just a projection, right?
Other-
My look,
uh,
can you go back to the parallel with Isaac? Because I think their
Yeah.
fear is very much similar to what you were about to describe.
Yeah. So Isaac is a character from the Orville. Uh, I can't remember the name of his people, but they are 100% android race, and they actually showed the backstory of that species and that character, and they were basically built as slave labor for this race, and then one of them rebelled, and then they murdered the entire species population, and and they're venturing out into the galaxy to figure out, like, not can organics be trusted, but can they kill all organics? That's what their mission is. And Isaac has a change of heart because he ends up in a relationship with Cassidy Gates. That's not her real name, but she's the actress that played Cassidy
She
Gates.
was yeah. She's a
Uh,
doctor on that show, wasn't she?
yeah, and he starts to change his programming, so they basically have to fight that species off. That makes me like, I know Star Trek has dealt with that. They're still dealing with that. In Picard, they had the whole synthetics come from another uh I don't know, uh
I
dimension,
mentioned
something like that.
mm, they're come from somewhere.
Yeah. And so they have those fights, and there's this whole thing of like, in the future they're going to come destroy us, and it's like, that's pretty deep, and y'all never talked about it again, I guess. So here we are in the future, 800 years in the future, and here's Sam. Is Sam gonna murder everybody?
Oh,
No.
oh, that's an connection. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah.
Mm.
So the makers did sound very like not trusting at all whatsoever of organic people.
Yeah.
And by the way, shout out to the voice of the maker, Chiwetel Ejiofor,
Really?
the actor. Yes,
I thought I recognized the voice, but I'm like, no. And I never looked it
I,
up, so.
so his name is in the opening credits as a guest star, and I'm like, I waited the entire episode to see him, and I'm like, wait, he was just the voice.
That's pretty awesome. Um, so let's talk a little bit about Sam's adventure. So Sam starts off learning about Cisco, and the first thing that she does is make gumbo. Talk about that scene.
Oh, that was kind of cute. With the kids just grabbing that food, which is another stereotype of a like high school, college type thing show where like kids just constantly eat because they're still growing. And
Well, she didn't just make gumbo; she made the whole menu from the restaurant.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Because they
Eh,
had gumbo, they had red beans, they had I think there was beignets too. They didn't
yeah.
quite
Uh-huh.
describe it specifically, but that's what
Okay.
Genesis wanted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I saw her eating a beignet, so yeah, yeah.
And then they'd make some
Yeah.
jambalaya or something like that too. I don't know. Um,
Etouffee. There's
etouffee,
yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Jaden was like, "My mouth is on fire, and I don't want it to stop." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's what spicy food is like." So, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a po' boy shop in New Orleans on the far side of Bourbon Street that they are all hot. Even the danky versions of the sandwiches are like burn your mouth fire hot.
Wow.
Ooh.
Mm.
Yeah.
I oh, there one day. I like how she was like, I can't taste any of this, so I need y'all to tell me what it's like.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is so good. And then Caleb is like, I could just hack you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caleb, like, I could just hack you.
Okay, that scene was kind of creepy.
That was I
Very
think cute.
creepy. It was like, I could just fix you.
I know, and I know it's specifically his comment when she gives him access, and he's like, "This is kind of sexy," and I'm like, "You're telling this to a how old is she?
3 months old.
She's 17.
3 months old."
Yeah.
Oh right, she's 3 months old and he's 21.
Yeah. It's
But
yeah.
I mean
Very
it's
creepy.
this fantasy anime stuff where
They kind of do a creative character with her. They change her hair, they change her clothes, and then he realizes like, okay, I'm not good at this. Give me some time. Um, and then for her trying to follow the path of Cisco, she went and got the food from the restaurant, and now she's like, okay, we need to go to the bar that Starfleet Academy folks went to because that's what Cisco did. And
Well,
there,
it's not the exact same bar,
but it's the
but it's a bar.
location.
Yeah, in the same
like,
location.
And this is another part where I started to not like the episode because it started to feel a little too much neon cyberpunk to me. And I have a lot of questions because 800 years in the future, San Francisco just looks like San Francisco. It doesn't look like. I mean, maybe we can headcanon it, and they're like, we're gonna preserve the buildings for 800 years. We're not gonna build anything new. We're not gonna do anything different. It's all gonna be the way that it's been.
nothing got destroyed. It's not like they had a war. They had the blip where they just kind of closed themselves out. So they were self sufficient, obviously. So they kind of kept some stuff, I
Were
guess.
the Bell riots in San Francisco? I don't remember.
Was it San Francisco?
It was in Northern California.
Yeah, something like that.
For sure.
Something
Yeah.
like that. But whenever Starfleet, whenever Star Trek visits San Francisco, you know, it's Starfleet Academy, but the rest of the city just looks the same. And I guess that's trying to say something that like human structures don't change very much. Think of Greece, right? There's a lot of buildings that were built thousands of years ago that are still up. But I don't know. It bothered me a lot. They went to a bar. It looks like any other bar, except the bar itself was LED screens. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the bartender. It
I know.
is Jackie Cox. She is a drag queen, made popular on season 12 of RuPaul's Drag Race,
Okay.
which has a Kansas City connection.
Wow.
Season 12 had Kansas City's Widow Von Du as a contestant as well.
Okay.
So, shout out to Jackie.
When Jackie showed up, I'm like, that's just a person. Is a bar full of aliens, and then here's a human. It's like, hey, y'all chill out, cause y'all look. There's some people here that want to have a good
Drag
time.
queens endure in the 24th century.
Apparently, yes.
Wait, what? No, we're not in the 24th anymore.
They're in the
30, 39.
39. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's online people were. It was weird that people focused hate on the drag queen. Because I'm like,
Really?
of all of the weird stuff that you see on Star Trek, a drag queen is what is I don't know what it is. What does it do for you? Is it tingling you in some way? I don't.
It's so weird.
It is so weird.
Oh,
I saw more hate actually on the skirt that Jaden was wearing.
I have a question
just
about the
wanna say-
skirts. Go ahead.
I just want to say that I didn't mind the skirt itself. It just didn't fit right on Jaden. It didn't like they could have made a better fit on it. It just maybe his legs are too skinny. I don't know. It just
Yeah.
didn't fit right. So
Okay.
like if anybody else wanted to wear the skirt, that would have been cool, but it just doesn't fit right on Jaden.
I have a question
it
about the
might.
skirt though. Oh, go ahead, Mel. Sorry.
Oh, I feel like it could be a part of his. I thought it made sense that the skirt looked awkward on the kid who's being awkward.
Okay.
And still his way. Yeah. I love seeing that type of stuff. I'm like, because like obviously the actor knows how to dress. Like he's
Yeah, he's
oh
good fashion.
yeah. So there would be a reference to how a skirt would look good on him. So therefore, um, the skirt looking odd kind of makes sense with how odd he is, and maybe we're going to get to see him go through uh growth because that's the whole point of the show, where he gets to be more comfortable with who he is, not just medically, but studies, but as a person. Well, all of them, and that's a really good way to do that. And it's also like one of those weird high schooly tropes where it's like, um, the goofy girl with the glasses and the ponytail. We're gonna give her a makeover, and take down the ponytail and take off her glasses, and now she's pretty. Yeah, like,
Or
That
Dave's
oh
gonna walk
God.
down the stairs with a makeover
Glammed up.
in slow motion.
um, he, what my issue with Jaden and his style of dress this episode, it didn't match and it wasn't flattering. Um, it was hard to look at. He wore, and is it a skirt or is it a scant? I know they have the scant uniforms, but this looked like this is a school skirt. Um, and also Jaden wore it weird. He wore it opposite the way Sam wore hers. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Like backwards?
Backwards or sideways. They looked
Oh.
they look very different.
Yeah, they did look very different. Because yes, Sam wears one also, and they looked completely different.
Yeah.
and him wearing the big bulky top with it kind of doesn't work, especially since he's not a bulky type
I
guy.
think it's the colors. I think it was the colors. Jaden was wearing a blue shirt, the red sweater, and gray skirt. And they turned everything that he was wearing into mud. And I'm like, it looks awkward, but I'm like, is it supposed to look like that? Maybe it is.
It's a makeover.
Yeah, he needs a makeover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so all of that happened.
If you're gonna be the queer representation on the show, you have to look good.
I mean,
Well, I like.
hold on. Last episode, the Klingons were bringing the style with their huge apocalyptic sweaters and leather jackets and fur. They were
The traditional, yeah, that did look good.
Now he's slumming it in Starfleet. So I don't know.
I think the model and he's still getting used to the idea of being Klingon and being Starfleet. He's also still getting used to the idea of interacting with other people in a way that he truly wants to, without anyone else telling him what he should want and not want. So
Yeah.
yeah, and the human clothes are awkward. How do
Yeah.
we wear these fabrics? It's not leather. Oh.
If you want to do a parallel, look at Worf. Worf always looked angry to be in a Starfleet uniform, even though he was proud of it. It always looked like he wanted to just flex it off and put on something more Klingon. But maybe that was Michael Dorn's just persona coming through too.
Yeah, maybe style got better though too.
Yeah, true.
in
Oh,
I think it was Picard season 3. His style was really badass.
oh yeah. Uh, he became more of a spiritual warrior type of thing,
Yes. Yeah.
and Michael Dorn for man to be in his 70s looked amazing. You know,
Oh yeah.
like I kind of know the story behind that. He shared in an interview that he went in for an exam and he had signs of prostate cancer. It was either prostate cancer or colon cancer. It was one of the two. And so he went on a full plant-based transition so he could better treat what was going on. And the signs went away, so no cancer. And he's like, okay, well, I guess I'm plant-based now. And so he's been on this journey for a couple of years. And that's just really interesting because, first of all, he's a big old dude, like
Yeah.
not a little person. And so he's been walking that walk for a while, keep himself healthy. And bravo. So a couple of things that Sam does in the bar. Uh, oh, actually, what it is Caleb. So Caleb's like, okay, I can do all this stuff. I'm good. This is going to help you simulate being drunk. And every one of these equals a shot. So he presses 1. Sam spams that button and hits 12.
I would not be functioning off of that many shots.
I saw that and I'm like, you gonna die. And they're like, oh right, it's just a
This is all
simulation.
poisoning.
And that whole thing with Sam being drunk reminded me of what people told me of my 29th birthday
Hmm.
because I don't actually remember my 29th birthday.
Gotcha.
I had a friend that worked at the liquor store, and I when I thought about this, I had to remember that you guys are in other states. I don't know if your state regulates liquor. You have a
Oh, it
special
does.
store that you got for liquor.
Oh, wait, no. So
Oh,
we're
yeah.
we're on the Missouri side. It doesn't really regulate liquor like that. On the Kansas side, it does. They have at least I knew they didn't sell alcohol on Sundays.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And they don't sell liquor in stores that sell food in
Yeah.
Kansas. You have to
Mhm.
buy liquor from a liquor store.
Yeah.
You can buy
Yeah.
beer and wine from a gas station or a grocery store, but you can't buy like bottles of liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember going to Maryland and being like, "Wait a minute, this is a normal store. Why is the liquor here?" But like, I had a friend who bought me like the little bottles for my birthday, and he bought me 2 bags of them. And I had never had the little bottles before. I usually only drank when I went out to the bar, so I would like
Mm.
ordered a drink, and I would maybe have 2 at the most. And so I'm sitting there tasting the difference,
Wow.
and I had like 6 without. So by the time we got to the bar, I I don't remember any.
Yeah, those are full shots.
Yeah.
An ounce and a half, maybe.
It was after we went out to eat. We went out for Chinese dinner. I had a lot of food. I thought I'd be safe because I ate a lot. I was not.
You learned your lesson. But
Yeah.
this part I
But
didn't like.
apparently
Oh, sorry. Go
told me was like I was acting like her. Like
ahead.
that's how I act. Like
I
you can get drunk because you're happy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that.
This part I didn't like so much because it was just like we need to get these kids into a bar fight. Um, I feel like every Star Trek has had a bar fight. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like all of them have bar
They
fights.
do that on a lower deck.
Yeah.
They're like, they're like, here comes the bar fight.
I did like her whole reaction where she's like, for the emissary.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. If she's the one that started the fight, that's the
The
thing that I
wrong way.
thought was so.
Yeah, she is. She's the one that started it.
And the scene where she actually hits the military student, kind of bar for bar modeled when he punched Q.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh.
they're getting
Oh.
obnoxiously
With the references, the send ups.
They they
The
they just they just recreated that scene.
oh.
Yep, because when the
um
Romulan
so
fighter, when she turned around, she like looks down. She doesn't look at the camera, but she looks down like, I just got hit in the face. What is happening? Oh, and then everybody's response, everybody was dead silent, like, what is this happening? This is not supposed to happen. Did Sam do that?
because Romulans are warriors.
Yes,
Are
Romulans are.
not, yeah, not on par with Cleons, like not as tough, but they're
They're,
pretty good warriors.
they're
So,
fighters, yeah.
and then just to go and deck a Romulan in the face.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but those two characters are getting on my nerves, and they're playing it very well. Because I can stand the Vulcan and the Romulan, how they just like every chance they get, they just want to rag on the Starfleet. It's
Yep.
like you guys are trying too hard to be the bully, and then Kyle's over there like, "Hey, nice shirt."
Kyle is he's a cheese ball over there. He's like
He is.
it's like he doesn't, maybe he knows what's going on, he just doesn't care. Kind of like Jaden. Jaden is like, sure, you guys don't like the, because then they try to split up the atrium in the academy, and Reno was like, no, but it was more or less like, these two are not on board with our rivalry, and we need them to be on our sides.
Yeah, and it's kind of like they're having a rivalry because they want to have a rivalry.
Yeah.
It's not no one else is really on the rivalry. They just happen to be on different sides, so they're just kind of there watching, which is kind of on par with how kids act.
Yeah.
But they're like, "Oh, you should want to hate them too," and they're sitting there like,
So all of this is happening, but then we finally get more of the actual journey for Sam, because the search for Cisco and what an emissary actually does is really kind of a backdrop to who Sam is becoming. And she goes through the journey, she gets to see the Cisco museum, she gets to talk with Ilya about Cisco, and how Ilya's just like, you ain't gonna solve that. That's an 800-year mystery. But she gets the book, and she activates Jake. I don't know what is happening in that scene, but she gets to talk to Jake.
In the previous scene, she plays the video of Jake Sisko.
Yeah.
At the museum. So
yes.
She kind of sees what he looks like, hears what he sounds like. And so I think, and this is a part of like that first person narrative that I don't like. It's like, so is this happening in her head? And they kind of talk about it in a sense. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. This is your imagination.
Yeah.
So it's kind of he kind of explains that to her. So when she opens this book, which is Jake's biography about his father, called Anselm, which is Bajorn for father.
Yep, with the Bajorn symbol right on the front. It's so awesome.
And he wrote the book and never published it. So there's only this one copy. So as soon as she opens it and starts reading it, then she either envisions a conversation with him or has a conversation with him.
Yeah, it's confusing. I'm glad that the conversation happened, but why and how is one of those things that I don't, whatever they were trying to do, I don't think it worked very well. But Sirach did an amazing job with this performance. And hey, look at Jake getting some fashion. That tunic was pretty awesome.
He dressed really well in the show. I thought he was best dressed in the show too.
His jumpsuits early on looked like they didn't fit really good.
The Starfleet
yeah.
The Starfleet fashion sense was really weird, because they've always had those weird patterns, And whoever was the art director, I mean, I get you're trying to do the future, but y'all need to like see what people have been coming up with that since then, because I think the stuff that they've been coming out now is really good. In the '90s, it just looked like they took couch covers and cut those up into into jackets.
Well, like in the last season when he's wearing like actual like pants and shirts and
Oh
stuff,
yeah,
it looked kind of like turn of the century New Orleans style.
yeah.
So at that point, he was the best dressed in the show. I also kind of mentally noted because I just recently, like a month or two ago, rewatched Deep Space Nine, and when I was a kid watching it, I was maybe like 2 years younger than Jake. Now I'm watching it again, and I'm maybe 2 or 3 years younger than Avery was when he did it.
Mm,
So now Jake and I are around the same age that Avery was when he played Cisco. So I thought that was cute to see him
yeah.
at the age of his father and have the bald head too.
They casted a perfect actor to be his son, because he, like, if you
He eventually looks like
yeah, he eventually, they grow the beard and everything, he starts to look like him. It's pretty cool. But I like the lesson that he gives Sam. Because Sam is kind of lamenting, like, hey, I'm an emissary and I wanted to learn and be as good as the Cisco, because he's an emissary, but emissaries don't get to do what they want to do. They they only do what they're told to do. But Jake is like, yeah, he did what the prophets wanted him to do, but he did it his way. And the example was when
Cassidy
yep,
Yates.
when they married, when Cisco married Cassidy Yates, the prophet said, if you marry her, you'll only know sorrow. And he did it anyway. And it made him happy. He and Jake even says those last few months together were the happiest that we ever had. And I'm just like, why y'all gotta do that to me?
By the way, they omitted their kid, Cassidy's child with Benjamin.
Yeah.
There doesn't show up on the family tree.
Oh.
They had a kid.
Yeah, she had. I think she had the kid
She was after he
he
is
ascended.
yeah. Yep. There are, like, the Cisco line continues. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they omitted it because so they can keep people from like trying to figure out, like, will there be more Cisco? No, there won't be more Cisco, y'all. Um the idea is to honor Deep Space Nine and what they did, and to not try to do it again. Like those characters, like Cisco, like all intents and purpose, Cisco is dead. Like he's with the prophets, you know. We don't need to take his corpse and marionette it like Starfleet Picard.
Or like Picard and Data. And
Yeah, like
Yeah.
let them go. Come on.
Well, and it takes away from the whole Jesus thing too,
Mhm.
because it's only been 800 years,
Yeah,
right? That's not that long. And also that scene where she goes into the Bajoran club and asking about this. The second time I was like, what if a college student went into a like Christian club and asked the same thing about Jesus?
like I want facts and logic. Which one of you have actually seen? Oh my god.
Don't just give me. I know you got your scriptures, but I need something that's not just the nonsense.
You're right. That was great. Oh, and of
I
course
was
they're kicking her
dying.
out. Of course they're gonna kick her out.
I love this. It cuts like directly to the scene with Ake, and she's like, "You pulled someone's ear and told you to show you the emissary, or else."
Yeah, exactly.
I like how she had a whole little cheesecake on her desk.
Yeah, what was she? She was having a special dessert for lunch. Yeah, but Jake basically told her, like, yeah, you're gonna be the emissary, but you can do it your way. You can choose. He tells her that Cisco was chosen. He was the chosen one, but he also chose. And it tells you in a way, like, sometimes we find ourselves in these situations where we think that we have no choice, but when we do have to honor our obligations, we can do it in a way that honors our own autonomy. We are chosen, and we can choose. And I think Sam took that to heart, because when she finally left that and was drawn into, I don't even know what this thing is called, but when the cask like paws her and and talk to her, that's basically what she said. She, they were trying to give her an ultimatum, like, you need to solve this mystery, like, today, or else. They were trying to get her into that class too, but
Well, I think the makers were telling her that she had to be in that class.
yes,
And the way she was trying to get in the class was solving the mystery
solving the
of
mystery.
Benjamin Sisko.
Yeah,
But she realized she couldn't, and so she never got in the class.
right. And
Because the instructor tells her, sign up for my class next year.
yep, sign up for my.
That was the big reveal.
Yep,
Because she said, it's under my real name, Isla Dax.
Isla Dax, and then we get to, which again, that was Tawny Newsome and all that makeup. She is a Trill hybrid Cardassian. I struggled with her makeup until this last time I watched it, and this is the struggle. She has a lot of makeup on and the Starfleet uniform, and they don't mesh well because the Cardassians are like lizard people. And so, like, the parts that I would have recognized, like, oh, she's a Cardassian, is under the collar. She, like, her neck is like binded, and it doesn't look comfortable. But, like, the more and more I was able to see what was going on, I was like, oh, okay. So there's a history with the Cardassians and the Federation, especially with her being a professor at the Starfleet Academy. And apparently they are biologically compatible with Trill. Trill will be getting around. And with that one specifically being Dax, I thought Tawny's performance was actually really, really good. I think this could
really.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was to say, it's really interesting to play a character that has been played by at least two actresses, in some episodes more, and you have to have the same mannerisms to an extent of the other actors, kind of like a flow of those mannerisms, because you are a character that has already been established to be timeless.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the details we have. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, but also have an identity of its own, because each host to the symbiote has its own identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, some of the details we glazed over, which was, of course, there's Easter eggs about Deep Space Nine, Bajor, all of that stuff in there. We glazed over how Ilya dropped the hint that Sisko liked tomatoes early on in the episode, and at the end, Sam is like, "Hi, wait, how did you know that Sisko liked tomatoes? That's not in any of the history books." And then she brushes her hair back. You see the Trill markings, and then we get the revelation, like, that's Dax. Yeah, sign up for her class, because that's where you need to be. That's what, like, us as viewers, we're gonna need you to be in that class, because we need more Dax. At least I do. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but
the doctor ain't trying to help. And if anyone could help her explain to her people what the organics are like, it should be the doctor.
He's dealing with something.
Yeah, there's some. Okay, can we jump on that? Because I was thinking about that too.
Yeah. She's like, don't talk to me. Like, why are you still a doctor? Like,
doctor.
You didn't choose to be a doctor. You don't have the demeanor to be a doctor. You have the engineer's demeanor and trying to be a doctor. Not to mention, you've had 800 years to figure yourself out, and you still here and like, I gotta take care of these kids.
Well, he says something. He says something in the middle episode that I caught, And I'm just like, what? There's something heavy in here. So Sam talks about how, it must have been tough for Jake to experience loss like that. And the doctor's like, "Hey, we all experience losses. It's just normal." And it's like, well, how could it be, how do you just deal with something like that? He goes, you deal with it by getting over it. You like, that's how he did it, and that's what you will do. And I'm like,
I don't think he's over it.
there's something,
Yeah.
okay, there's something or someone or someones that the doctor has lost, and it is troubling him.
It would be everybody though.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, he's lived longer than Data has, and he had to see the death of all of his former crewmates on the Voyager. He had to see the death of the kids from the Protostar. He had to see, like, they all eventually died because he's the only one that lives long enough.
Mm-hmm. He outlives them all.
He outlives them all, and maybe that's what he's struggling with, outliving all of them.
And so again, does this touch on some questions about what does the future hold for these photonic species,
Mm-hmm.
or any other type of synthetic beings? There's always
Well,
little bitty hints in the background in Star Trek, but nobody's saying anything.
because they had that problem in Picard when they didn't trust them anymore because of the accident on Mars, and then they're like, well, these people they can live forever, and they could build themselves stronger than us, so they're a potential threat.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we've evolved, we've also have compassion, and like, and some of us are programming ourselves to die, so
Yeah. So we get to the end. Basically, Sam is like, I'm gonna be the best emissary ever, but it's gonna take some time. Gotta let me grow, and I'm gonna do it my way. And she just like straight up hangs up on the makers. She's like, gotta go, bye. um. So, yeah. And then we get a beautiful poem by Avery Brooks at the end. Um. He if I understand this correctly, this is a poem that he performed like a few years ago. Um,
yep.
and he sounds the same. His voice isn't aged. you know. Um,
It was a it was on a self-produced album called Here that came out in
mm.
2006.
Oh, okay. So 20 years ago, but still,
But
um,
still, yeah.
still really good. Yeah. So Avery Brooks retired from acting. He's an artist. He's a musician. He's everything but acting. And honestly, I don't blame him. Like, there are some people who can do it, and there are people who are just like, I don't need it. And I think that's him. He's been through, his career was wild. So, let the boy rest, y'all. Star Trek fans. Also, we don't need another Deep Space Nine. We don't need another 90s TV show. Let's make some new stuff.
I like
Yeah.
how the episode did not feature him at all, except for his voice at the end.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, bringing back Jake and bringing back Dax, that was enough.
Mm.
And if you want more Deep Space Nine, go watch it on the Peacock app. You can you can do that. You can watch all the seasons. You have all of your favorites like Odo and Quark and Morn, um, Rom. You know,
Yeah. Enough to have Jake, and especially metaphorically because this is for the next generation. And also kind of like the chancellor. I need to learn her name. But she, to me, watching this one really reminds me of like the millennial mindset of being a healthy parent,
mm,
and him being coming as a parent, as a son, as the kid from Deep Space Nine, talking to the kids of the academy. I thought was just so appropriate, and that was one of the I think both of the tear jerkers in this episode was when he showed up. And maybe because it meant a lot to me to see that proxy of a kid in a show that I really like. Like Wesley was maybe like way too old for me to like really see myself in him, but him also just being closer to my age and black just kind of did that proxy thing for me.
Maybe we need to do a side mission on kind of like in general criticisms or parallels of Starfleet Academy, because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk
Yeah.
about. But I like how this episode points out all the different parallels. And I mean, I feel like Deep Space Nine, the finale was a was a great goodbye. And then that documentary, The Things We Left Behind, I felt like that was a really good goodbye, but it was also talking about what could have been. And so this one does it by saying like, no, we don't want to change what has been done. We honor it, but we can't do it again. So let's kind of move on. It talked to the fans. There are people out there that think that Deep Space Nine is the best Star Trek ever. And it could be.
Yeah.
The
end, I will say the end about gave me a heart attack because it said for Avery, and I'm like, oh my god, did he die? So I had to look up, make sure he didn't.
Yeah, no, if he's still alive and well.
But
Avery
it was an honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were honoring him, and he was still alive. That's great.
Yeah.
I like to see that.
Yeah. So Avery can't die, and Patrick Stewart can't die until after William Shatner dies. The rest of like they're held hostage.
What?
They're held hostage. William Shatner, he's in his 90s, and that bro, he has been to space and back and still lived. Like, come on, man!
He
Like,
outlasted crew,
the whole crew except for George Takei. George is still kicking.
Oh,
And
I
Chekhov,
thought
the original Chekhov, still alive.
Oh yeah, Walter Koenig. Ooh,
Yep.
yeah, such a good actor.
alive. Okay.
Yeah,
I think those three are it.
yeah. The rest have like slowly kind of like been dying. Who the actor for Bones?
He was first, I think, because he was the oldest.
He was the oldest. He died shortly after the Next Generation launched. So like
maybe he was in the premiere episode.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
that makeup. I didn't.
That was so nice that he got to do that before. Well, I guess for us.
In fact, all of them except for Sulu. Sulu appeared on Voyager.
Sulu be doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, Sulu.
That was for like the 25th anniversary or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
He's on Alien, Resident Alien. He was in Paul. And
yeah,
just hear that voice.
George Takei was He was in Heroes. I think, if I'm right, he was in Avatar: The Last Airbender cartoon. He's been everywhere, and I don't know. To me, it's such a joy because first of all, he has such a recognizable voice, and I think of like of the Star Trek alumni, the saddest death to me was Majel Barrett. Majel, because she was the voice of the computer, had like her voice is imprinted in my head, and so whenever I see her in any other show, I'm like, it's the computer. You know.
I always wondered what that show would be like if she was still on it as the first officer.
Oh my goodness, right?
And then we actually got our answer like many years later, but it wasn't her.
It was
Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah, Rebecca as Una, which funny kind of. I mean, she did an amazing job at the role. I just didn't like the name. All right. We've rambled for a little bit. Let's maybe we should schedule a side mission to kind of do some supplemental discussion. But let's get ourselves out of here. Thank y'all for joining us for this edition of Voices in Hyperspace. You can continue the conversation with us on our YouTube, our Facebook, our Instagram, and our TikTok. All of those at Voices in Hyperspace. I'm Legendary Black Lion, the rebel leader, Legendary Black Lion. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Legendary Black Lion. And we have Mel Asylum.
I am Mel Asylum. You can find me on my link tree, Mel Asylum. Or is it Mel's Rebellion? Oh, Mel Asylum. You can find me here on YouTube as well, at Mel's Rebellion. Check out my YouTube videos. And you can find my books on Amazon. Well, I'm one book so far. There will be more.
And I am PJ3K. You can find me on Instagram at PJ3K.
Awesome. Thank y'all for joining us for this edition. And until next time, we'll see you out there. Peace. Yeah, oh gosh. And I know there was like more to talk about for this episode.
Yeah, we did kind of ramble at the end.
We rambled and I'm like,
Oh man.
it's so much. We're over an hour, but it's all good.
Yeah.